One of the issues that Republicans are afraid to talk about and that Democrats will never tell you the truth about is immigration. There's a reason why they passed something called the Patriot Act to strip Americans of their civil liberties, but they won't shut down the border. I mean, hell, if you're an American and you go on an airplane, they're gonna check you, they're gonna grope you, they're gonna do whatever they want. But if you're an illegal immigrant and you come through the border of Mexico, no problem whatsoever. But see, there's a reasoning behind the madness, and that's why I want to inform people about. There's two major cultural issues that have made it basically impossible to close the borders. Number one, women's rights. Number two, gay rights, which is two things I am totally against. I'm not against women's rights because I'm anti-women. As a matter of fact, I think women are more important than men because they have the kids. But the fact of the matter is, the only reason they passed women's rights, well, one of the main reasons they passed women's rights was basically the government couldn't tax half the population before women's rights. After the women were dumb enough to, fall for the trap, the government started taxing everybody. But besides the point, women's rights and gay rights have basically done one thing to the United States of America that no one wants to talk about, and that's basically they've changed the demographics. Because see, when a woman went to work, she started having less kids. And gay rights, that's the nail in the coffin because gays don't have kids whatsoever. And again, don't call me a bigot for stating the facts, okay? Now, since the 1960s, we had about I believe 2.1 kids per family demographic. Since then, in America, it's dropped to 1.6 kids per family. That is unsustainable. Because see, when all the baby boomers start retiring, we need people to buy into the system because we're not having enough kids in the United States of America. And that is why they cannot close the borders. Because they need the immigrants to buy into the system. Think, people, think. It's not that hard. Gays don't have kids. Women, because of women's rights, women have kids. That means the family demographic has went down from what it was in the 1920s, about 4 kids per family, from what it was in the 1960s to about 2.1 kids per family, which is the minimal amount you need to sustain a society, to now where it's 1.6. And hell, in Canada and Europe, where they're a lot more liberal than we are in the United States, it's about 1.3. So while the Muslims are infiltrating the Western culture and popping out kids every 9 months, the people in the civilized society aren't having kids anymore. So that is why they cannot close the borders, and that is why they cannot tell you why they cannot close the borders. They need the immigrants to buy into the system. So now you know.